So I want to thank Robert and Wendy for having us here today in terms of, and obviously the audience at home. But I wanted to speak on behalf in terms of, as we're preparing the presentation, just to, to continue our success in terms of the VT25, last year's winner. We had to follow up and had some big shoes with the VT30, this year's entry. So I'll grab a remote real quick. Figure how to. Okay. We can go to the next slide. Are you running it through the player, or we're running it
through the system?
Okay. Okay. So, and that's what this slide actually speaks to. Actually, the VT25's success from last year, specifically even here, like I said, last year's shootout champion. So, next slide. We did not rest on our laurels in terms of, from a technological standpoint. Knowing we had one of the best TVs that Panasonic ever made last year with the VT25, we continued at that bold statement of, again, having probably the best TV we've ever made with the VT30. Some of the things in terms of the technology that we've done in terms of is really the new illuminating pixel frame by frame method. We'll kind of go through this into the presentation in detail. Exclusive to us is this feature called fast switching phosphors, and also a new luminance process for our pixel board and throughout the cell structure. So next slide. Some of the improvements we've done is actually created a conventional plasma actually has electrodes that are relatively dense. What we've done is actually no longer are they that dense. We've actually created more electrodes inside of our phosphor cells or our cell structures, essentially creating these smaller particles. Does two things. It actually gives us these more fluidity and also lowers power consumption. So two things with this re-innovation of technology in the plasma panel itself. Again, as I indicated, the phosphor fires are now moving faster throughout the cell structure, handling motion resolution much better than ever before that we've seen. We've actually been known very well to actually handle motion resolution very well on all of our panels, not just the VT30, but actually all of our 2D 1080p models and above actually have fast switching phosphor capabilities. This slimmer rib structure actually allows for, actually I'll speak to the slide of it, and then of course the louver filter that's actually on is new and improved for this year as well. So next slide. So speaking of the filter, last year's filter actually had a coating that actually blocked out ambient light, did very well in bright lit areas. Now it actually has a better coating this year. We've actually put a better seal coating to block out light, so you can actually put this TV in very bright lit areas, and it will absorb the lighting in that area a little better than last year's panel. So we did some improvements there as well. Next slide. This is actually, again, exclusive to our S, our ST, GT, and VT models. In terms of motion resolutions, we've passed test patterns that actually show motion resolution at full 1080p. So throughout, we've actually had, this obviously benefits those 2D televisions, but also enhances our 3D picture that much better overall. So, next slide. The other thing we've done for our 3D, last year, obviously phosphor flare, we needed a fast decaying phosphor. However, a lot of the times the images in 3D come up very dark. If anybody put on 3D glasses, they have always seen this, it seems to be a lot darker. It used to be actually the first signal that actually would read your eye left, right, actually would be relatively dark and then get brighter as it crossed and we read information. We've actually flipped it over, and now it's the brightest image essentially hitting the eye first and actually scaling down and then reading again. This actually does not, this affects our afterglow So sometimes that that trail that you would see in motion resolution, it actually improves that in terms of, it also displays better blacks as well in terms of from leaving screen or off screen. So next slide. Again, this is probably a trademark for everyone here. In terms of 2D to 3D conversion, you can watch anything in 2D to 3D conversion, or anything in 3D, I should say. You can customize the 3D for however you like. One of the things I actually will speak to on the next slide is that the customization feature, I know, next slide, I'm sorry. Yep. On the customization feature, you can actually give yourself more of a 3D effect, obviously to pop out of the screen, but now you also have the ability to customize it to give you like a depth of field as well. Something where you're looking out the window in terms of a minus. So you have the ability to do both. If you want it to come off the screen, by all means, enjoy it. Be 3D in that way. Some people don't like it like that because it causes eye fatigue and strain. But yet you still want that 3D effect. You can have it give yourself a depth field as if you're looking out a window. Okay? Next slide. Obviously, this is one of the 3 panels here that's also THX certified both in 3D and 2D. Next slide. And also has the ability to actually play video content at film speed. It's one of the, I believe, only the one here that actually can do film speed at 96. Am I correct by saying that? It's the only panel here in the US that can play film rate at 96. Next slide. We all have internet content. Panasonic's a little different. Actually, Panasonic gave a marketplace. Our vision of internet applications was to make it home entertainment. This is what this television is supposed to do. It's there for home entertainment. We didn't do a web browser or what have you. We felt that giving entertainment applications on the screen and bringing the family together was what the vision of VR Connect is. Next slide. So you can do sports apps, gaming apps. Next slide. Fitness apps, even more interactive than ever before with body media. You can actually do a USB connection through certain devices and actually tether them together to work on some of these apps through body media. It actually can read your blood pressure and your vitals if you wanted to. Check them in the morning right through your television on VR Connect and the body media app. Next slide. Obviously video streaming is important, and social networking, so more applications there as well. Next slide. And one of the things I'd like to actually throw out there with the audience and the audience on the web is that VR Connect also has an open platform where if there's developers out there that are looking for applications, and Panasonic has a marriage together, we're looking for anyone that would actually like to put an application on VR Connect. It's open. If you have an application that you'd like to consider and actually put out and work with maybe our VR Connect team, we are always open. The website is available there for developer.vrconnect.com. And if it's a perfect match, who knows, your app could be on the Connect market. Next slide. Obviously, Skype video chatting, we did this last year. I hope we're getting Joel Silver, right?
Well, unfortunately tonight not, but tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll video chat with Skype with Joel tomorrow night, but it does support Skype, and we'll actually offer a third-party camera, not just a Panasonic base. There's a FreeTalk camera that's out there that works via USB, and also we're working potentially, possibly with Logitech as well to get a third-party camera that works with the VT, any of our TVs that support the VR Connect markets. It also is a DLNA compliant device, so if I have any movies, photos, videos that I wanted to stream from my phone, my tablet, my laptop, desktop, and view on my television, I can actually do. Obviously, it's Wi-Fi compatible as well. Next slide. Image viewer. Obviously, this is one of those features that is sometimes missed. You can actually play SD cards USB media thumb drives, and there's a plethora of formats that Panasonic supports through thumb drives and SD cards, right through the slides, right through televisions, so there's no connectivity needed. I don't think anyone offers anything so network friendly to connect direct to your television in terms of file formats, right direct to your TV wirelessly. Okay. Next slide. One of the other things that's actually great with these USB plugs, because there's so many gaming apps available on the Connect market, you can actually take third-party gaming devices and actually play those games with third-party controllers right on your screen. Other things that is really great too is you can take third-party USB keyboards wirelessly and actually update your Facebook page or send a tweet. And again, it doesn't have to be a Panasonic product. It can actually be third-party devices that you can connect right through the USB port and actually utilize with full functionality. So, next slide. Again, there's applications. We're over here kind of playing with getting the app downloaded. I know Antonio has it on his tablet there. I have it on my phone in terms of applications on Android and iPhone where you can utilize your remote and actually have full functionality and take the remote and kind of put it in the drawer. So, next slide. Again, just to touch up, two sizes on the VT30, the 65-inch and the 55-inch. We felt that a redesigned monolithic one sheet of glass display, so there's bezel-less display, the Infinite Black Pro Panel 2, Wi-Fi VR Connect, and you get obviously a pair of glasses as included with the purchase of the television. So I think we're done. Any questions?
What do additional glasses cost?
There's some very good I want to say bundles supported out at retail. I know MSRP for the new third generation, which actually is very good in terms of, we kind of touched on it a little bit. The new third generation is actually 0.8 of an ounce. They're extremely light. Essentially, they're going for about $99 a pair. There's a 2-bundle pack actually available too as well. So definitely pricing has gone down in glasses, and they're available out in the market. And again, there's very incentive bundles that are including glasses. So.
Just a quick question there.
Sure.
I know some people were complaining recently about some of the Panasonic panels where the black levels were fading. And what has Panasonic done to correct that so where it maintains its black levels? There's something with the power consumption that was causing the black levels on some of the recent TVs to start
Was
to
it
gray
any
out.
of the stuff for, well, the VT30 is the one that we're discussing today, but
Right.
I don't think there was anything on the VT30 out there on the market.
Right.
But we're really not at liberty to discuss any of things but what's here at the show, so, or at the shootout is what I was told.
I think it's understood that that problem is a history problem and did
Yeah.
exist, but I don't think anybody alleges that it exists today in the new product.
As a matter of fact, didn't CNET
They get blacker. They get blacker.
Yeah, right.
Didn't
Yeah.
CNET verify this by running a panel for
I'm
over
not
1,500
next to
hours?
the
I believe they did. That's been verified that
Yeah.
the VT30 does not have
Does
that
not
issue.
have that issue.
Yeah,
It's been measured over a period of over 1,500 hours.
Right.
So.
I was actually responsible for rolling out the statement to CNET as to the 2011 product line. The entire product line has no issue relative to the black light. I mean, black level starting to brighten. You know, now the testing actually that CNET has published about a month ago showed it getting better over the year's time that it's testing. The reason why it is a non-issue is that the materials, there were a number of materials that Jason talked about in general. Those materials were improved for greater efficiency. Okay, there's a 15% improvement in the power efficiency from last year. It turned out that one of the side benefits of those material changes is that the black level now is stable, and we do not adjust it, you know, through time.
Right.
In fact, We're not saying it gets better, but the measurements that were published by CNET showed that it was getting better. Now, whether it continues to get better, we're not specking that.
Right. Okay.
But it's already great.
I have one of the roller panels from about 5 or 6 years ago, and the black levels on that is still tremendous. I have it in my bedroom now. It wasn't in my maintenance, but I think the 42PXU, one of the ones from about 5 years ago. One of the last ones, I guess, were made in Japan before they started being made in Mexico and everything. And the black levels on that is still tremendous. So I hadn't really seen these fading blacks that other people.
Well, all the panels are actually the glass panel itself are made in Japan at the huge Amagasaki factories.
Right.
In Mexico, and I believe we have a site in Europe. That's the final assembly where you take the glass and you put it in the case and do your final testing.
Right, yeah. One I have is actually, it says it was assembled in Japan. And friends of mine that all bought the TV after seeing mine. I can tell you there's about a dozen people that have them after seeing mine. You know, some of them say they were assembled in Mexico. I guess they bought theirs afterwards, and mine was made in Japan.
Yeah, they're all getting the same glass though. That's
right,
the same
yeah.
panel.
But I'm saying that TV in itself from 5, 6 years ago, the picture quality on it is still outstanding.
Great.
The black levels are great, yeah.
Happy to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
The ST30 series had motion interpolation on the plasma for the first time we ever seen it. It was on by default. Is it also on the VT30?
In terms of
Yeah, it was on by default.
By default, it is on.
On the VT32?
On all the models.
you can actually
just turn
it off. Yeah. Trust me,
You
Not a
guys
big
trying
fan
to
of it
copy
myself.
out the manufacturers now or what?
it's just, you know what it is people sometimes like that effect.
I know. I'm
You
just
know,
kidding.
we want to give them,
It's
if they like that effect,
a love-hate thing.
yeah, exactly. If you like that effect, you
Yeah,
turn it
yeah.
on and turn it off. Yes.
I know we're talking about the VT30, but can you tease us a little bit on the VX300?
Is that the Pro monitor?
The reference Pro monitor?
They-
I mean,
I actually, that's a part of Pro Group. I'm actually consumer. It's actually two different divisions of Panasonic. Actually, good.
because there's some buzz on the net about it, and I think
A lot of people are
the
actually
product
talking
page
about it.
might have went up today, so there's been discussion. About it.
Now again, that's like
Yes.
a $6,000 50-inch or something like that, right?
It ain't cheap.
Yeah, it's not cheap. So yeah, it's definitely not a consumer television.
I mean,
Put it
the
like
Elite
that.
is not cheap either, and people that have the money to spend are buying it. So that product is in interest. That's why
Unfortunately, it's two different divisions. There's a Pro Group, and I know some people, and we have a consumer group, and that's part of our Pro Group.
I'm trying to go to the Toyota and telling them, at the Toyota.
Let's talk
Right.
about Lexus.
Let's just say,
probably
Still Toyota, but it's another division.
right. It's just that. Yeah. It's anything else. Okay. Where's the MC?
he's being
He's on TV.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Do I have the honor of passing the torch
Oh,
over
I
to
don't
Kevin
know
and
about
Mel?
that.
I'll even tell Amanda. I don't know if you're going to.
the relay on the